Hey guys, it's Nate, aka TheFutAccountant. Welcome back to the channel. It feels like EA is almost running an experiment or some sort of test right now on FC25 with the latest content that we just got. Now, this test, if you will, is making cards fly on the market, and you might have some easy coins sitting in your club. We need to take a look at that because this new Fantasy FC League mode with the insane rewards that it has, albeit some of it unobtainable, is making some cards fly on the market. We have to talk a lot about this mode because there's just something about it that seems to be a little bit of a test or an experiment as well. I'll get into that today, but we also have some SBC content that we got yesterday that's moving prices on the market down that we thought were maybe going to go up, but there's some other prices going up because EA didn't really do with the SBC what we thought that they might. But there's a fodder part of the market that I think is ripe for investing, and same with the Fantasy FC cards. We really need to keep an eye on these cards as we get into this week. More games and more potential upgrades on the line. If you guys are excited for the video today, drop a thumbs up on it, and of course subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let's dive into yesterday's content by first going into the SBCs, where we had the return of the icon player pick unlimited repeatable with the team of the year icons included, but they didn't take out the base cards, which is what I was kind of hoping they would do. But since they didn't do that, guess what's cheaper and now making high rated fodder go down? This SBC is doing that. 86, 87, and 88 rated squads, which means this is one of the easier icon picks we've had and cheaper icon picks recently. 300,000 coins only to get this one done. It's really making the fodder market move because it is that cheap, and some things positively, but other things negatively. If you take a look at 87 rated cards, these are now 11,000 coins. They went from 8.5K yesterday during squad battle rewards all the way up to 11,000 coins where they are now. Huge rise on the 86s and the 87s. 85s are up a little bit, and 88s are up a little bit as well, but it's most of these 86 and 87s here because they're what are needed the most inside of this icon pick. Notice there's no more 89 rated squad. That's a lot less demand for that 89 plus fodder. Even though they added the team of the years in, they made this SBC cheaper because they maintained the bases in it, and that's a W for wanting to do this SBC. Even though I will say I do believe it makes the pack weight a good bit worse. Like having the bases in this, it's cheaper, yes, it's easier to do, but guys, I'll be honest, it is not great doing these icon player picks, but at least it's cheap and it's fun to try something. And if you get somebody like an 88 Blanc like this or an 89 rated base icon, you can at least evolve them with some of the evos that we're getting now. That's one of the caveats to this. But since there's no high rated squad requirement in that SBC, guess what is crashing? It's crashing more than I really expected it to, but I think we found out the reason why. Guys, 91 rated cards like Rodri and Haaland are cooked. These cards were 56 to 57,000 coins yesterday. They are now 41,000 coins, and it's really been the trend, the continuation of a trend that we pointed out in yesterday's video. We talked about it on the stream yesterday. I just didn't expect it to become this quickly. It's the ending of the Mbappe SBC and EA not releasing other SBCs with 89 and 90 rated squads, right? This SBC, which expires in 4 days, most people who are going to be doing it have gotten it done. This was the one that really made fodder prices on cards like Rodri, on the 90s like Kevin De Bruyne and Harry Kane, and even the 89s like Hegerberg and Odegaard go up a whole bunch during Team of the Year. These crazy price spikes. Remember when Rodri and Haaland were selling for like 90,000 coins on that Friday that Player of the Month Mbappe dropped during Team of the Year? It was crazy. It was insane, right? Well, these cards had their spike because there was a whole lot of demand. Other SBCs that had 89 rated squads inside of them. So many packs being opened, so much craft, and now we're on the downside of that. How low is this fodder going to go is the real question. There's a lot of SBCs that are still out right now. 88 rated squads, 87 rated squads are plentiful in a lot of these SBCs. If you take a look at like Joao Felix, who I know a lot of people aren't doing, 289 squads, right? He's kind of overpriced. The Guti, a lot of 87, a lot of 88 rated squads, but no 89. I think that's one of the reasons why this fodder is going down. And again, it could keep going. It could honestly keep going into the 30K range. We do have a good number of SBCs that are out right now, which I think is going to help maintain the prices on the 89s and the 90s. But guys, we could see 91 rateds back in the 30Ks, under 40,000 coin range, because that Mbappe SBC just had so much of the hype. And until we get maybe another one, one, which it doesn't look like he's going to win the next player of the month for La Liga. It doesn't look like we're going to get a Graham Hansen SBC either for Liga F. I don't really want to sit here and say I think high-rated fodder is a good investment. It kind of had its time during Team of the Year until we get something massive again, like a very expensive player SBC, like I'm talking 2 million coins plus, that requires EA to use 89 and 90 rated squads a lot. I don't think that fodder is going to do too well. It's going to still maintain a value because it's needed for 88 rated squads, because if 91s and 90s get too cheap, that'll become the cheapest way to do an 88 rated squad. But as of right now, fodder maybe goes up a little bit today on the high tier just because it dropped off so much yesterday and it's making other SBCs pretty cheap. But I don't think it's going to go up a whole lot just because the supply and demand situation that is going on there. So that's kind of the SBC section from yesterday. Again, I might do an icon pick this week, but I'm behind on player SBCs, so I'm not going to prioritize one of those over a guaranteed player SBC. But again, like I said, at least it's nice that it's unlimited repeatable and it is cheap over there in the Icon SBC department. Let's talk about the big Fantasy FC League that was dropped and what I'm kind of thinking about here, why this is a test or an experiment. But first, just my thoughts about the mode. Guys, the rewards, insane. That's the hype with this mode, right? It feels like Weekend League during the week with the level of these packs. Of course, you do have the Benacer, you've got the Odegaard, and you have the Maicon down here. It's going to be very difficult, just as we expected, to get down here to get 92 Maicon. Honestly, this card, he can play right back and left back, and he's 5'5", which is sick. But he's missing some play styles, but I think that's because he would be getting those playstyles added onto his card. I guess he's going to be live for Inter. That's my guess. There's actually no official release on that. It doesn't say on his card who he's going to upgrade for, but he's a fantasy card. So you know he's going to upgrade for some Serie A club because he's Serie A. That's my guess. But they're probably going to give him like anticipated intercepts. If you're lucky enough to get there, that's going to be very hard to get to. But it's the rest of this objective with the packs, even if you're not that great at the game. Like personally, I get 8, 9, 10 if I'm lucky in Weekend League wins. I'm looking at maybe stretching to 20. If I can't, I'm okay getting 14, 16, 18 because the packs that you get in here, even for just playing a couple of games per day throughout the week, I think are honestly worth it, guys. And yes, it's going to be competitive. You're going to be playing full matches. It's kind of different than a normal friendly mode with a cup. Don't confuse the Fantasy FC Cup game mode with the Fantasy FC League. Make sure you're looking at the right league, right mode and friendlies, because there were some people that were mixing them two up and you only have a limited number of games for the Fantasy FC League, of course. But I think these rewards are actually really worth trying for, and it's fun because you use a different team. Now, this is the reward I think everybody should try to get. The Fantasy FC Dribbling Evolution, which boosts up, I believe it's composure, reactions, and balance. You get plus 10 on those with a cap of 90. That's actually pretty nice because most evolutions don't boost composure and reactions. That could be very, very helpful for a chain. This is 100% worth doing. And then again, down here, even if you can only get like 14, 16 wins, you're getting some good packs like an 87-3, an 82-20, and 84 times 5. If you can get past 20 wins, this is when the packs go really crazy. So like right now, I am 2-1 in this game mode because again, we only have 12 matches that we can play from now until Thursday. Once you play those 12 matches, we have to wait until Thursday to get 12 more. It's going to be 3 sections of 12 matches each time. The requirements are actually pretty similar to the other Fantasy FC Cup, but they are a little bit different. Now, before we talk about the requirements, one more word about the matches. I don't think I would try to save matches. I don't think I would try to risk it, guys, because we do not know right now on Thursday if it's just going to give us 12 more matches. And if you have like 5 matches left, if that'll be 12 plus 5 and you have 17, or if it's just going to refresh back to 12 and you lose out. I would not chance it, at least for this first refresh, until we figure it out. You're going to want to probably play all 12 before Thursday, not to risk losing out on some matches there, because it has a Weekend League type of feel to it. Let's be honest, that's kind of how it makes us feel. Those elite rewards, those insane rewards that we all want to try and get during the week. It's like Weekend League during the week. Now let's talk about these squad requirements here. There's kind of a special way to lay out your squad to get a good set of players or the best players possible, and I want to go through that with you guys. I think the best way to build out your team is to get one 90 rated card. You can get 2 88s, and then the rest of your team can be 86s and below, and then you can put silvers on the bench, and you can have a couple of super subs as you see here. That's kind of like the magic formula, I think, to get the best squad requirement here. Of course, I've got an 85, that's all that I've got here, and I'm just using some fun cards. I'm not trying to use the most meta players. Of course, I've got Pace up here with Diaby. I've got Dalot, Capdevia. This Lukiba card, I chose him because I used him a lot earlier on the year. Know what I get out of him. Sissoko, of course, kind of a cheap beast from earlier on. I wanted to try him with Cantwell because I haven't used him at all. And then, of course, I got my guy Cruyff and Sonny up there in the attack. I think that's the best way to build out a team for this squad because, again, you've got a lot of requirements. You can't bronze bench, but you can silver bench. And then, you know, you have a couple of 87 and 89 and nothing above 91 requirements thrown in there. I think that's honestly the best way to build a team with this. And of course, those players that are 86 and below specifically are flying on the market. My goodness. 82 rated Van de Ven, his gold card is extinct. This is crazy. He was 3,000 coins yesterday, all the way to 10,000 coins. That tells you that this mode, this league mode, has a ton of hype, and people are going out and paying crazy coins for these cards to try to get even the rewards that maybe they can't even obtain, but just seeing how well they can do in this, seeing how well they can perform in basically the midweek weekend league with these specific requirements. I think that's what makes it more fun for me and interesting, is using different players, but still being on the same level of playing field as everybody else. So check your club. If you've got like a Nuno Mendes or a Pope, a Van de Ven or a Davies right now, you can sell them for big money. Same thing with a Kyle Walker or a Koundé. That's the biggest thing I want to tell you guys. If you have any of those gold cards, or maybe even some of these tradable special cards in your club, like a Marcus Llorente or a Dalot, they are up crazy amounts. 105,000 coins for Dalot, when yesterday before this he was 52k. Now, when's this peak for these cards, like the lower rated cards here that I'm talking about? A lot of the demand for this cup mode is obviously right now. I call it the cup mode. I need to stop that. League mode, right? It's different. It's different for sure. This mode has a lot of demand right now. Once people get a lot of their games in today, tomorrow, before we get to Thursday, I could expect to see some of these cards that have exploded maybe come back down in price a little bit. I can't believe that Ramirez is 600k extinct. He went from 230k to 600k for this cup mode. Like, sell this if you have this, please. Like, anything that's extinct, I would definitely sell it. What I can see happening here with a lot of these cards that have exploded in price is they have gone up. They're maybe max price, maybe extinct, or just up a ton. I think they max out today-ish, as there's the most amount of hype for the cup. And then as people finish their games, I could see these cards actually falling off in price until Thursday again. Then when that demand for the cup reopens up and people are trying to go for that second set of 12 games, I could see these cards going back up in value again. So that's what I'm going to be really watching, is 86 rated and below cards that went up a whole lot. Like this DePaul's 40,000 coins max price. He was 20k. If he comes back down to like 30,000 coins by the time we get to Wednesday, what's to say he's not going to go back up? He fits Evos as well. What's to say he's not going to go back up to the high 30s or 40k, and you can make 7 to 10,000 coins a card on something like that? Seems very plausible, because a lot of people, once they finish the cup, are probably going to sell players in their team because they know they're inflated. So take advantage of the prices being very high right now. I'll be watching those throughout the rest of this week, because that's where all the demand is. And that's actually, I think, taking away a little bit of demand from the market in other areas where I'm trying to trade with some cards right now. But other players like this Romeo Lavia, he was 240,000 coins yesterday. He went all the way down to 200,000 coins flat. I think he's up a little bit from where he was there. But I saw some prices dropping on other player cards from meta teams that people are building, because there's not as much demand for a weekend league team as people are playing this new mode in, of course, the friendly section. Now, the more that I think about this mode, let's talk about it and just take a step back in general. It's got hype because of the rewards for sure, right? But the more that I think about this, I think this might be an experiment or a test from EA, because one of the things that people in the community have been asking for a while is a new game mode. We have Rush, of course, that was added this year, but something that was maybe competitive. Rivals, I think, to people is getting a bit old, and Foot Champs has been the most engaging game mode for the last couple of years with the best rewards. And one of the things that was coming out of the community that we heard a lot about and talked a lot about was a new mode that would make like a Foot Champs type experience during the week. This is the first time we've ever had a cup mode, league mode, friendly mode like this, where it feels like Foot Champs, because you have a limited number of games with really top tier, elite tier rewards that you could obtain. I think this is honestly a test to see, for EA side of things, how many people like this, how the integration is, how the interaction is with this, how much we like it, do we go for it, stuff like that. Do we like enjoy it being in friendlies? This is the exact opposite of a friendly mode if you honestly think about it. It's a weekend league just being played in a friendly. So I think this is really just a test from them, because this is the time of the year in the spring where we start to see things like that added to the game, because that's stuff that they're testing out ahead of next year's game. Remember, guys, we saw that last year with some of the evolutions that we've already seen implemented in different ways this year. There's countless things that we see in the spring, specifically after Team of the Year, and even into Team of the Season and into the summer. But really around this time of year, it starts happening where they test stuff that we see ending up happening during the next year's game. So that's just one thing I wanted to mention, because that's kind of how this feels. Now, of course, from a market perspective, you could have made a lot of coins yesterday with the cards that have gone up a lot, which is cool. Or if you've kept Evo cards, or you've kept other players in your club from specials, then you have plenty of opportunities to go and play this. I think it's worth a try. It doesn't feel as sweaty as Weekend League. It doesn't feel as sweaty as Rivals, honestly. It's kind of a, I wouldn't say nice medium. It's not easy, but it's not terrible at the same time. The gameplay does feel a little bit sus, but that was just my experience yesterday. I'm going to play more of those games today and kind of get a feel for it and continue to use those cards. The thing that I like about it the most is I'm not using my most main meta team. It's a fun change from that, and the rewards are worth trying. Even though if I know I'm not getting 30 wins from Icon, it still feels worth trying to me. Now let's talk market a bit more, especially with these fantasy cards, because a lot of them have actually fallen down in price, but this is the point of the week where I could start to see, I could imagine that some of them could start to go up. Now, yesterday we talked about Philip Billing, right? He did not play well for Napoli. Did he actually get a yellow card? I think he might have gotten a yellow card. I don't know if he did or not. But he did play, he did start. There was no assist. They didn't win. You look at the tracker, not a good day. Not a good day for Philip Billing. His price tanked. The opposite, however, for Sunset, because they scored 7 goals. Yeah, 7 goals, and he had a goal or an assist, maybe both, and they won, of course. So he's literally 3 goals and a win away from getting all of these upgrades. And of course, if he doesn't get a yellow or red card, then that's a freaking W as well. He could be fully upgraded like straight away, which would be insane if that happens. And that's a card right now that I actually just picked up a couple at 19,000 coins, because his price exploded yesterday from 18K to 24. I mean, sure, fodder's down a little bit, but if this dude's still the same price or 1,000 coins above with 2 upgrades basically clinched, 1 upgrade clinched, one of them like almost clinched, another one like, I just have to see this guy going up a bit more. Now, if there was like a +2 overall that was going to happen with part of this, then I would feel a lot more confident if he was going to a 90, because of course fodder 90s are 31,000 coins. That would be a lot bigger of a jump for him there. But I just picked up a couple 19K on bid because I was like, that's got to go up a bit. Now, for the rest of the cards, I've been eyeing Daniel Malin. All right, I'll be honest. The reason I'm eyeing this card is because they play, Villa play, I think it's tomorrow, and they play Crystal Palace. I think this card is a risky investment, but I think he has high upside. 527. Man, I would have loved 500,000 coins. He's not down. A lot of the rest of the promo team is actually down in value, and he's not down a whole lot. But the reason I like him is I don't think there's going to be as much supply after today, maybe a little bit tomorrow at the end of Weekend League. But this is a card that has very good upgrade potential. You take a look at his tracker. They won their first match. He could very easily get a goal or an assist, and that's really important here. The 2 playstyles, if he already has 2 playstyle pluses, he'll get 2 regular playstyles added to his card. He'll go to a 92 and get a roll plus. If they win and he scores or assists against Crystal Palace, and of course, any goals they score would go towards the tally there. They don't play again until March 8, but that's like, they really have an opportunity here to win this match and potentially get a upgrade or a double upgrade for Malin, which is kind of a risky investment. But it's one that I think if you want to put some coins into him, it's something you could watch out for. The rest of the fantasy team, man, I know these cards are live and they're going to be kind of overpriced because of that. Kvaratskhelia actually got himself an upgrade obtained yesterday for the, I think he scored a goal. Was it a goal or maybe it was an assist that he had? They scored 3 goals and they won. So he's kind of in the same boat, honestly, as Sunset is. Not as many goals, but it's looking really good for him. And his price tanked. That's a card that I was watching. He was just down at 1.8 mil. He's back up to 1.9. So I don't want to put a ton of coins into these cards, except for maybe Malin, just because they feel a little bit risky for me at this stage. I'd rather trade with some more risk-free stuff, and especially as people are not using as many of these cards, but they're live cards. Live cards always have hype, so definitely keep an eye on these players and watch out for ones that have games this week, even the heroes too, because there could be investment opportunities short-term, not necessarily long-term in my opinion, but even like a Joe Cole. I believe Chelsea play, I think, at some point later in this week too. They didn't do good the first game, but, you know, they could come out and cook, and this dude could go up a whole bunch. So that's just a card that I would keep an eye on and something to mention with these fantasy cards. Now, that's not the investment that I love the most. I like the team of the weeks, guys. I know we mentioned them in yesterday's video. I'm going to double down on it and mention them again today. They're 13,000 coins. I started picking some up at like 12,750, 12,000 coins on bid. You can see here I picked up a Dolberg, trying to go for the highest rated ones possible, or other team of the weeks that aren't actually in packs. Those will sell for more. But I think Informs for 12K, even if you have to pay 13,000 coins flat, I think that's an okay investment. It seems like very low risk, because every single Tuesday, every single week, what have we been getting? We have been getting the 83 times 10 or the 83 times 14. Like every single week. I'm going to pay 13K. Never mind. For him, I was going to try. Got outbid, but that's a card that's not in packs. I like those a bit more. But like 12,750, I'm going to stock maybe 20 to 30 of these in my transfer list and just try to lazy sell them during the week. I think that's going to be my play. Informs, in all likelihood, probably don't go up past 15,000 coins. They might only go to like 14 to 15K, but if you buy them at 12 or 13 flat and you can sell them for 15 to 16K for lazies, and you have 4 to 5 3 days, I guess, really, if you get them on the 83.10 on Tuesday, you have until like Friday to sell them. That's not bad. It's just something that if you're not trading a whole lot, you can just put a couple of these on your transfer list for 12K and just honestly lazy list them and try to make a couple thousand coins per card, and that's going to slowly get your coin balance up. That's kind of what I'm looking to do with this by paying 12,000 coins for these, 12,750, and you know, hoping to sell these for like 15 later in the week. I think the risk is very low here, because anytime you can buy team weeks at 12,000 coins, at some point they're going to go back up to 15 to 16 to 17,000 coins. Maybe we have to wait a while for that next big spike. But to be honest, it feels very low risk here for a lazy list investment, because it's been very consistent that we get an 83.10, an 83.14, or something like that, even an 82.20 during the weeks on Tuesdays. I don't think it's going to be coming today, but on Tuesday, I think we'll be getting something along those lines. Also, like I mentioned, I picked up a couple of sunsets, and throughout the rest of the market, I'm still trading here. I picked up some Olise. I picked up 3 of them, actually, on some undercut snipes. He was listed at like 8. There's another one, 823. Like, I think that's a coin transfer card that's being undercut here. I flipped 4 of these now, and that's too low. I just sold one at 900,000 coins. I got one at 833. I got one at 823 there. This is a card that's normally 900K, so I'm not making a ton there. I'm making good profit, though, with the tax that we've got there. So I'm probably going to try to pick up a Malin at 520K and risk it on one of those. And I'm still trading on the out-of-packs part of the market. I think we just have to be a little bit more careful, because a lot of people aren't buying players for their teams as much in this range, because they're buying more so in the lower rated cards that they're going to be using in the league mode. I almost said cut, but it's not that. It's the league mode. They're buying more cards there than they are for like meta teams. Now we'll see if that changes today, but hopefully that means it's a decent day for trading on the out-of-packs cards. Well, you see I have 3 Elises here. Got one at 8 to 23 that I just bought. This one I bought for 811, and then I have the one on the transfer list, and I do have a couple of informs. Nothing super crazy, only a couple pages there. I need to sell these Rodris. I thought he was going to bounce back up yesterday, and he didn't, and I just kind of want to get out of those. Flip the Blanc. This is a really good flip from 165 to 210. That was a really good one that we have. I'm trying to get back into the market swing of things after being away. I'm rusty. I got to pick up the moves again and start moving and making some flips, but I don't want to just do quick flips. I'm having a bunch of packs to open throughout the week this week, so I don't necessarily want to be trading all the time. I want to have some stuff like the informs, like the sunsets, that I can just be relisting on my transfer list over and over to try to collect some easy coins here or there. Now, let's talk about Monday content. Actually, last Monday, I looked back, was kind of a crazy day. There was a good Evo, and there was the Bombito SBC. Mondays usually aren't that spicy. I got to get this 85 double upgrade done. today before it refreshes again. But the 82 combo upgrade is going away, and hopefully that means a player pick is coming back. Last week we had the 78 2 of 3. I hope this week they drop the 80 plus 1 of 3, because your boy still has hundreds, and actually it's still, I think it's just under 300 now, because I had all 350 of these grassroots grind packs created. I think now I've opened about 70 something of them, so I've got like 270 something or 280 of these grassroots grinds packs left, and I'm really hoping for player picks. I rinsed a bunch of these and the commons in my club into the 82 plus combos, but I'm hoping for player picks today so we can have a massive pack opening to try to hit fantasy FC cards, and then maybe hit a couple of player SBCs, maybe an icon pick, and then of course have just fodder for days. That'll be a whole lot of fun. But hopefully it's the 80 plus 1 of 3 that comes back, because after the 78 2 of 3 dropped, this 80 plus 1 of 3 came out, and then that should maybe drop again since they just dropped the 78 2 of 3 again. Does that make sense? So I'm looking forward to that. Maybe an evolution as a part of today's content as well. The only thing that would make me think we wouldn't get an evolution would be EA's been dropping so many evolutions and objectives. We still have a lot of Evos here that I got to get working on. I'm sure a lot of you guys have completed most of these, but from grassroots grades, still tons of Evos that are involved here. It might be quieter in terms of this week of content with evolutions, but then in terms of SBCs, we still have the Maldini that is out there. One other fantasy SBC I think is out there too, and we do have the official stats now for a Witsel Road to the Final, which I find very interesting. When is there going to be a Road to the Final promo? Because we've got the round of 16 matchups all set up and everything, but this fantasy is a 2-week promo. We're going to have another team of fantasy coming this Friday. So that's the official Witsel card, who actually looks decent, needs a physical boost for sure, but he's 88 rated, so he would fit the evolutions if you still would like that. I used his card that was from the Rivals Mastery earlier on in the year, and he was very, very good. I don't know if I have him in the club still. I think I put him into the swaps program with that, but I'm just really interested to see how that works out with Road to the Final, with where we currently seem to sit with the promo schedule and all of that sort of thing. So I think I'm going to send it here on a Daniel Malin. I think I really want to pay like 510 or 515. I think that's been his like lowest price. Maybe I'll try to cop a bid here. See this one at 495. Come to the stream today to see if I get this Malin for like 510, 515,000 coins. I'm going to risk it with just one, because I'm making some good coins on the grassroots grades, flips, and stuff like that. So that's kind of the situation for the game today. I don't think there's going to be a lot of content, but I think there could be some decent opportunities to trade, invest in the informs, wait for the SBC tomorrow, list them up tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, make some coins off of that. And then, of course, continuing the out-of-packs flips and watching your club. Check your club for tradable cards for sure. But then definitely like consider trading with some of these cards too that have gone up a bunch. If they have any drops, pick them up in the lows, sell in the highs. They're rare. People are buying them for these cup teams, but just be aware that maybe they could come back down a little bit as we head towards later in the week. I'm not expecting a busy Monday though, as I mentioned. And yeah, we'll be here to grind though. I still have so many packs in the store. That's what I'm excited for. The grind for this week with the league there as well. I got to play Rivals, got to play the league, I got the cup done, but I got to play the league now, get the rest of my 9 games in, and I got to play Rush. Got to get these Rush objectives done for the packs because I'm not doing Weekend League. And then, of course, I got to get working on Division Rivals as well. So there's a lot personally for me to do, but I think that league is really spicing some things up. We'll see. We'll see what comes of this in the future, because I think there's a lot of mixed opinions. Let me know in the comments what you feel about this mode. Do you like it? Do you hate it? I think a lot of people like it if they're good at the game. A lot of people who maybe don't feel as accomplished don't like it. Even though if you feel like you're not great at the game, I would still try to get good with 4 wins. I think that's absolutely worth it. But I will see you guys at the stream today. And if you want to check out the other links, those are down below in the description. But I appreciate you guys. It's great to be back, and I can't wait to be grinding this week of this game. Get all my packs opened and see what we can come up with. If you enjoyed the video, drop a thumbs up on it, comment below if you have any questions, and of course, subscribe if you're new. I will see you guys in the streams today. It's been TheFutAccountant. Have a great Monday. Peace.